A warm welcome to all spiritual seekers and meditators. So today we are going to explore a powerful relationship spread. I call it the bridge between us. And this spread helps us look at both sides of a connection, what each person is bringing, the strengths and challenges, and also where the relationship is flowing. So for this reading, you will have a choice between two groups. I will give you a moment to choose, and then I will see you in your reading. So hello to those who chose the group 1. So here we have the first position, which is about you. So these are your energy and feelings and unconscious patterns in the relationship. And for the first card from the tarot, from the Druidcraft tarot, we have the Queen of Swords. So it looks like you stand in this relationship as someone very thoughtful and sharp and independent. So this queen is intolerant to any half-truths. She's very intelligent and discerning, and this card suggests that you want clarity and transparency. Maybe you need a very direct confrontation and conversation, but also she carries a certain distance. So she protects her emotions. She may be relying too much on reason and discernment. And then with this other image of the chameleon, this is the Beware card from the fortune telling deck, we have this message: be careful who you trust. And this reveals your caution. So there is a protective instinct in you. You are aware that appearances can be deceiving and that not everyone shows their true colors, so you may be guarding yourself. Maybe you feel you could be betrayed, or maybe you feel that the other person has not fully revealed their intentions. So there is a certain distance and being very careful and guarded present here. And then we have the Wise Old Man card. This is from the Jungian Oracle, and this is the archetype of inner guidance and inner knowing. And he also searches for harmony and truth. So deep down, beyond all your sharp edges and protectiveness and all the instincts, because we have a very instinctual card in this chameleon, but deep down you're motivated by desire for wisdom. And you want something authentic. And perhaps you also need a very purposeful connection. Maybe you need something greater to connect you with this person, because we see this earth and the world card, the world symbol in the card. So and it's placed on the heart level of this wise old man. So perhaps this shows that in your heart you see something bigger, something higher, and this is what you truly want in the relationship. Not to be just connected through personal desires, but to have a higher purpose that you can share together. And then we have the second position, and this represents the other person. So here we have the Ace of Wands, and of course we see these strong wands with fresh leaves and this golden radiant sun, and below we have a stag standing proudly and it symbolizes power and vitality. So the other person has a lot of creative energy, and they may come into the relationship with a lot of pride and also enthusiasm and desire to start something new and exciting. And also this relationship and you may be extremely inspiring to them. And also they are standing on a verge of something new in general in life, and this may impact your relationship. So they want to move forward quite boldly. And then we have, of course, the Lion card, absolutely going along with the Ace of Wands. It's a very dominating card. We see this wide open mouth, and again we see these golden sparkles, and this again emphasizes the strength and creativity and the desire to express themselves. Maybe they indeed roar sometimes, maybe they fight, maybe they can be very loud in the relationship. They want to show that they are courageous and they want to make demands also, but they are also loyal and very dedicated. So we have this ego and dominance at one hand, and then very much this loyal energy, devotional energy. But there is this dominance and ego, and they want to take the lead in the relationship, sometimes even forcefully. But then look at the Jungian oracle card with this figure in white, gestures upward. There is this small dog at her feet, and she seems to be at a temple. This is like a temple-like background. And this is related as a beggar. So this is an archetype about humility and asking. So, and this shows that even very strong people and proud people, like this lion, carry an unconscious vulnerability. So maybe on the surface this person projects fire and dominance, but their unconscious pattern may include a lot of fears of dependency or a hidden need to be recognized and validated. So, and then we have this loyal dog again, and this is, they want to be unconditionally accepted. They may be in the dog position, they want to follow you everywhere unconditionally, and they also need that from you, even though they appear so self-assured. And then we have the third position. This is about your bond. So what is the essence of the connection between you and the other person? And then here we see the Three of Swords for the tarot card. And we see a heart-shaped stone pierced by three swords, resting against an ancient tree. So this shows, this ancient tree suggests something very deep, very unconscious, and perhaps also coming from many, many lives and many, many experiences that may have nothing to do with this person per se. And so at the heart of this bond, of your bond, lies pain. There is a certain unresolved grief, because the Three of Swords is the heart of the heartbreak card, but it also cuts through illusions. It's the Saturn card. It's the great teacher. We are learning something about relationships here. And so it suggests that this relationship carries wounds, maybe from past betrayals, perhaps from some distance or unspoken truths. So, but of course the pain is always a potential for growth. So what your bond is about, it's about the need to confront reality and to heal what is broken. And then we also have a kind of a blockage card, the Mountain card. So we see this glowing mountain beneath the stars, and this is again kind of a symbol that your bond is not an easy one. There are many obstacles and struggles and barriers, but also it's a strong bond because the mountain protects, and it's a very strong assurance. So there is a lot of power here if you face the challenges. And this shows very enduring relationships. So you have to climb the mountain. There is a lot of effort required, but there is also a lot of growth possible if you persist. And then we have this a certain, like a clown face from the Jungian oracle, and it is surrounded by 7 white suns or moons, and it's number 3. So this is the trickster, the performer archetype. This is an energy of illusion and play and also unpredictability. So in this bond, there is an element of masks being worn. Perhaps you're playing certain roles or hiding truths behind performances. So you may be performing for each other and also for other people. Maybe one of you is a strong performer and is wearing strong masks. And also, so this emphasizes that there is a lot of hidden truths that have to come out, and you cannot hide them through humor and role-playing and being goofy. Also, it says that this relationship has a kind of maybe vitality, because you see how red and how joyful in a way this card is, even though the face is not really smiling, but there is a kind of vitality and a possibility to navigate through obstacles in this card. But in overall, the bond is about discovering hidden truths and pains, and don't stop playing roles, don't pretend, don't play, but be very, very open and truthful with each other. And then you can really climb this mountain and create something really beautiful. You can reach the stars, but it's not easy. So now let's look at the position 4. The position 4 are the strengths in your relationship. So what supports the relationship? What works well? What you can lean on? And here we have the 9 of Wands from Tarot card. And this is a very determined warrior, leaning on his staff. He's bandaged, but he's still standing. And we see these flames burning in the distance, but he endures. So the strength of this relationship is in its resilience and perseverance. So no matter what the difficulties are, you have the will to keep going, and you want to defend what you have built. So you may feel wounded, but you are not very quick to give up. So there is a lot of loyalty and endurance at the core of your bond. So you have the strength to push through all these obstacles and pain. And then we have the Death card, and we see this figure surrounded by butterflies. They symbolize metamorphosis. So this is a card of natural transition and transformation. So the strength is that you can help this relationship to transform and renew. It's like shedding off old skins. So you have this power to let go of what is no longer needed. So you can allow a rebirth. And the strength is also that you are able to adapt and you have the courage to face changes. And it can also mean that, especially when we look at the next card from the Jungian Tarot, that there may be you have been dealing with a death, a literal death in your lives. Maybe somebody close to you died. Maybe somebody is grieving, and this is still affecting the relationship. So from the Jungian oracle, we have this figure, and he's the gatekeeper archetype. So he is keeping watch on all the trials and all that is sacred. So this card suggests a kind of initiation. You can step through a threshold, but first you need to face the gatekeeper. So this adds really nicely to the 9 of Wands and the Death. Even when your relationship is tested, this bond has the potential to endure and to emerge stronger. Of course, in some cases, it may mean that the best way to handle the relationship is to end it. Sometimes that is also the strength that we need to end things. So whatever the case, this relationship cannot continue as it was. You need to face the challenges and transform or end the relationship. And then we have the fifth position. These are the challenges in your relationship. So where are the tensions? Where are the blind spots? What are the obstacles in this relationship? And from the Druidcraft Tarot, we have Princess of Wands. So we see this young woman walking barefoot, carrying a staff. And we see this orange robe and her hair is loose and there is a lot of youthful energy. So this may represent a real person. Perhaps the challenge is another lady or a person in relationship. But in overall, this is the Princess or the Page card, which is a challenge of impulsiveness or restlessness. If we look at the pages as from their negative side, they can be very immature. This is a very young energy. So there may be a lot of excitement and curiosity in relationship, but this may lead to lack of stability, or you don't follow through your commitments or plans. And perhaps one or both partners are not consistent, and maybe sometimes it's difficult to balance all responsibilities. And then if we connect this with the Fool card, which is from the fortune telling deck, and it really resembles a usual Fool from the tarot decks, and we see this figure standing on the edge of a cliff with a dog at her side. And take risks, be adventurous. So the challenge may be in the risk factor. Maybe there is this adventurous kind of spirit in the relationship, making the relationship unpredictable or unsafe. And maybe you are seeking novelty or freedom, one of you. It seems that one person may be too freedom-loving or adventurous, or taking things for granted, or just wanting to explore the world and just jump into things. So there is a certain kind of feeling of unsafety and inconsistency in the relationship. And then we have this bird in the cage, the prisoner archetype, of course, very clearly indicating the feelings of being trapped by circumstances or by fears. And this is, so we have a certain kind of tension between desire to be free and the fear of leaving the cage. So if we connect this with the previous position, this relationship may have already reached its final stage, and there is the need to move forward in a new stage, or perhaps even leave the relationship behind, but you are remaining stuck because of fear. So you are not allowing yourself to grow, you or your partner or both. So at times this relationship may feel very free, very liberating, and on the other hand very restrictive. So the challenge in this connection is in balancing freedom and commitment. So on one side we have this youthful energy and risk-taking and hunger for adventure, and on the other hand there is this shadow of feeling caged or trapped. Maybe both of you, maybe you yearn to be committed, but on the other hand you may fear losing freedom. If you deep down are afraid of losing freedom, you will attract partners who seemingly don't want to commit. This may be your own shadow being reflected in the relationship. We usually blame the other person. And of course, I'm not saying they are not who they are or how they present to you, but if you are in a connection with someone who is very adventurous or seemingly not committed, there may be deep down in you the fear of feeling trapped. Even though on the surface you will say, of course, I want a committed relationship. But this exploration and being bound together, both sides, they are not very easy to handle. And in this relationship, we seem to have this dynamic very much playing out. So how to be free and yet committed, or how to maintain the bond and grow the bond without feeling like it's a cage. And then, very interestingly, for the sixth position, which is the hidden lesson, so what this relationship is teaching you beneath the surface, we have the Fool card again, this time from the tarot deck. And again, we see this carefree traveler standing on the cliff with a small dog beside him, and he carries this bag and he is going into the unknown with lightness. And so it shows that the hidden lesson is about embracing new beginnings. Also, again, it may be about a new beginning without this relationship. With the Fool card, this is like a Joker card. He just jumps in. It's like the universe sending us a bolt of electricity. This is the Uranus card. He just comes and enlightens us. So there may be something enlightening already happening within you. Maybe you know the truth already, but you are unwilling to fly from the cage. You are unwilling to take the risk, maybe even the risk to end this relationship, or the risk to finally start trusting the relationship and this person. And then the Fire cards from the fortune-telling deck. We see this blazing fire, and it says, let go of emotional upheaval. So again, the lesson is not rely on passion. Don't react so much, perhaps. Don't be so intense. Don't fight, don't be dramatic. But also the fire can mean burn away what no longer serves you. So in this relationship, you are burning away old pain, old patterns, and old drama, and it can be extremely difficult. This relationship may sting and burn. So before you are reborn and before you get this new presence, you may go through the fire of hell in this relationship. A lot of dramatic outbursts, a lot of anger. So this relationship may really, really provoke you. The lesson, if we take the Fool card, actually we had two Fools. If we take them with the, let's say, the higher level of energy, it's about trust. It's about starting new, even karmically new or emotionally in a new way. Learning to be more carefree, learning not to feel trapped, not believing that if you commit to someone, this means you're losing all your freedom. And then we have this cosmic order, the Self card, a very strong card from the Jungian Oracle, and we see this cosmic spiral, and we see this suggestion of cosmic timing, and all this glow on the card. This is something is guiding you toward the higher wholeness. So the lesson in this relationship is deeply spiritual. There is something greater at play, and you are learning to align with a larger pattern, to see beyond ego, to beyond drama or fear, and recognize the soul level. And you are burning to the ashes old patterns of destruction, destructive patterns in relationships. And for that, you may have also experienced breakups. Maybe you have broken up several times in the past, you came back together, or you are on the verge of breaking up. So if you can recognize the soul level teaching of this relationship, you can make it through and come out stronger. If not, it may be time to say goodbye and count your blessings and just say, I've learned what I could from this person and now it's time to move on. But since now in the position 7, the future flow, the direction of the relationship, since here we have very, very creative cards, it seems that you will not really break up. So no matter the drama, all the fire burning and all the passions burning, you are still making it together. You are moving ahead. So we have the Three of Pentacles from the tarot, and we see this craftsman, creating all these pentacles into stone. So this is a card of mastery. This is a card of building something. Also, we see these people watching the person. So it may be that one of you or both of you, you need to be recognized for your role. Other people need to stop. That means the partner needs to stop and see what you're doing, what you're bringing to the relationship. So you need to respect each other, recognize your efforts, recognize your roles in the relationship. And then we have the Eagle card. This is a very beautiful card. It shows like having this higher look on things, and it is like soaring high, and it brings a lot of vision and perspective, and it shows that you can rise above difficulties. We see the eagle flying above the mountain, so you can overcome the obstacles. You will fly high, and through clarity and through ability to transcend old patterns. So this is a lot about transcending, because the eagle is flying in the air above the ground. So you're not limited so much with everyday earthly boundaries. You need to have a vision which goes beyond the everyday petty conflicts. These relationship demands respect from both partners. You need to show a certain admiration for the other, to recognize their work, not just in the relationship, but in general, to recognize that they are a very meaningful and perhaps very successful person in their own way. This is the way to heal. This is the way to transcend and to go beyond ego battles and beyond dramatic outbursts if they were occurring. And of course, this beautiful archetypal card, the healer, which literally means that there is restoration at hand, that healing is happening, and that you are headed toward renewal. And we see this hand offering the lily, so you are going to offer something to each other. You're going to also receive something for each other. So there is a lot of potential for healing and purification. You can transform this bond, and you can rise to clarity with the eagle, but also experience deep healing. So if you stay together, if you work through the differences, and if you are very clear that what you are provoking in each other are deeper truths and pains that may have nothing to do with the other person, but they are just hidden wounds that you carry within. If you are able to rise that high and see that you are learning something on the soul level from this person, then this is a great relationship for healing and really recognizing each other's strengths. And then for the final message, I pulled one more card from the Rose Oracle. This is like the higher purpose of the relationship, and we see the trust the seasons. This figure in sequences, she represents different stages of life. And there we have this sky with sun and moon, and they evoke cycles and transitions. So, and the message is embrace change and cycles. So this shows that the higher purpose is that you need to move through cycles and to accept change, that the relationship may be very versatile. Maybe you one time you are in this space, the next time you're in that space. You also may be very cyclical. maybe relationship and your dynamic depends on your moods. It can be a very moody card. So you can go through intense joy and intense pain. And this is something that you need to embrace and find stability in it. Find stability. Don't depend on surface emotional happenings. Find the deeper core, the soul level that goes beyond these cyclical occurrences. So don't be too emotional, let's say. Don't get entangled into current mood, but see beyond that. See the bigger picture. And then you can really have a very successful relationship. So I hope this resonated. I wish you good luck. And hello to those who chose group number 2. So let's take a look at the first position, which is all about you, your energy, your feelings, and your unconscious patterns in the relationship. So first we have the tarot card from the Druidcraft tarot, and we have the High Priest, and we see this horned figure sitting upon a throne and a hand raised in blessing, and he has all these ritual objects, and he represents a spiritual tradition and wisdom, and also an authority, a spiritual authority. So you come into this relationship with a sense of values and tradition and guidance. Maybe you are the one who is guiding someone, who is giving some advice, who is maybe presenting like a mentor even in this relationship, or you're just someone who strongly believes in tradition and values, and you're looking for structure and stability. And you may be someone who has very deep principles. This is not just about some passionate affair for you. It's about holding to strong ideas about commitment, and also about spiritual meaning within love. And well, the problem can be sometimes that you can become perhaps sometimes very rigid, but when you are at your best, you're someone who has a lot of integrity and you are a very grounded person. And then we have this star card from the fortune telling oracle, and we see this beautiful night sky over water and a guiding light of a star. So you may be literally a guiding star in this relationship, and you bring a lot of hope, and you're someone who wants to heal and who wants to reestablish faith in love again. And also you're someone who wants a lot of clarity. Stars usually are connected with clarity and also having long-term vision, a sense of destiny. And then we have this deer, this beautiful deer, framed with these golden leaves, and the number 10 as an archetype from the Jungian oracle. And this resonates with the wise animal, or also with the archetype of a father figure, because this is also about guidance and responsibility and a natural authority. So you have a certain kind of connection with the natural order. You want to keep things together, you want to protect them with gentleness, and you want to lead with wisdom. And so you're hoping for a very spiritual and also ethical relationship, which is guided by natural harmony. So you have a very, very high principles and very strong spiritual and ethical beliefs. So then we look at the other person. This is the second position. This is the energy of the other person, their feelings, their unconscious patterns. And here we have the Emperor card. So this is also a very powerful figure. And we see him in this red cloak and with a staff in hand, and he's also all about structure and authority. So the other person can be very much stable, but also controlling, and they want to establish a certain order in the relationship. It may also mean that this person is someone who has a strong position in society. Maybe they have a lead position somewhere. Maybe they are in some kind of official capacity. They have a very strong perhaps business relationship with other people as well. So it may be also about their personality and the way they stand in the world. But as for the relationship, they're very protective, very grounded, but they can also be dominating or unwilling to compromise. And then we have the Phoenix card for them. And we see this fiery bird rising from the flames, again into the starry sky. So they are prepared for a new period, Phoenix rising from the ashes. And this may show that this person has gone through or is going through a crisis. Maybe it's a personal crisis, or it's a crisis related to their career or their any other worldly business. And this may, of course, affect the relationship. So they are bringing this crisis energy into the relationship, and they want to rise from this pain and rise above destruction. So they may feel very intense. This is a very intense energy, especially with the Lord, with the Emperor energy. And then, of course, we have from the Jungian oracle, we have the shadow card, the unknown self. And we see this cloaked figure standing in the forest, in the twilight, extremely mysterious. So this person carries a lot of unconscious fears, and they have aspects that they themselves may not fully acknowledge and understand. So there is a lot of hidden emotions and vulnerabilities, and they want to keep them out of sight, not just from you, but from themselves. So outside, they may be a very strong, and perhaps they're in a position of authority, as the Lord card suggests, but then they are full of hidden struggles beneath the surface, and also very much afraid. This person in the last image, in the Jungian oracle, the shadow, is afraid to really show their true face. So they may need to face what is hidden in their shadow and face the consequences of their destruction. So we have a very powerful and very determined person, and they bring a certain kind of stability, but also they are controlling, and they have been through hell, we can say, maybe through some very, very deep personal issues. And beneath this surface, they are very vulnerable, and they need to face a lot of inner demons. Then as for your bond, for the essence of the connection between you two, well, we have the Ten of Swords from the Druidcraft Tarot, and we see this figure lying down on the ground, pierced by 10 swords, and this dark sky. But on the horizon, we see the sun beginning to rise, and this is usually the card of endings, of deep pain, and it often marks a very low point. So you may be now in a moment when the relationship perhaps feels broken or finished. Maybe you even ended things. Maybe you've broken up, or you're thinking about it. But with this card, we always see a potential for a new dawn, and there is a possibility to start over. And then we have the Patience card from the fortune-telling deck, and we see this hourglass with this rainbow light, and it says slow down and change your attitude, clear your mind. This relates to the shadow work and to the destruction that we saw in the Phoenix. So this person that you're dealing with has gone through some really deep issues, and this has affected your relationship. So now this relationship needs time and patience and healing. So you cannot rush anything. and don't push anything, because this would only deepen the wounds, and perhaps even you are taking a break or you are on a pause, and perhaps you created deliberately some distance so you can take some breath and allow some clarity to emerge. And then we have this beautiful ballerina from the Jungian Oracle, which is number 1, which goes very beautifully together with the 10 of Swords, because the number 10 reduces itself to number 1. So we have this fresh start with the number 1, and it's about the archetype of the beginning, of the self, of individuality. We see this ballerina dancing in a very like icy background. She's very graceful. This shows the clarity of the mind that allows a new beginning. So it's a kind of antidote to the shadow. She's clear, she's creative, she's not hiding, she's presenting herself, she's dancing. And so beneath all this pain, this bond has the deeper purpose of returning to your essence, to your core. So you are helping each other in this relationship to reconnect with your authentic self, with individuality, and there is a fresh, beautiful start indicated. So even though perhaps you feel very heavy or even trying to end things, there is already a rebirth happening and a lot of beautiful energy emerging. And then we have the 4th position, which is about the strengths of relationship, what holds it together, what the relationship is grounded on, and it helps the relationship. And we see the 3 of Wands in the Druidcraft Tarot, this man looking out towards the distance, and we see the horizon, the path leading towards the horizon. This is like a promise of a new strength, new vision, new growth in the relationship. So you have a vision for the future. So there is a potential to broaden horizons, to create future plans. Perhaps you are literally making new plans and you want to move beyond small things, because the fire energy, the 3 of Wands is a 3 of fire. Number 3 is extremely creative number. And the 3 of Wands is a very sparkly energy. It brings beautiful surprises, new developments. So the strength of the relationship is optimism and new vision, and of course, as we can see from the next card, love. So there is love between you. We see this beautiful pink card with hearts and roses. And so the foundation of this relationship is love itself. So whatever the hardships, you have a strong energy of care and affection and connection. And this is what truly continues to ground and to protect the relationship and offers the potential to heal the relationship. And then from the Jungian Oracle, we have this archetype of the magician or the alchemist, this wise figure in scholarly robes, surrounded by all kinds of symbols. This shows that the strength is that you can transform and you can turn difficulties into wisdom. Maybe also you are people who love to learn. Maybe you are intellectuals or very much concerning with learning new things or discovering new things, or perhaps you are also connecting with a wise person who can guide you through your difficulties. So if this is the case, you can trust this person. They will help you and you will find a new vision and a new journey together. And then we have the 5th position, which is the challenges of the relationship. And what hinders the relationship, what undermines the relationship. And we have the Magician card from the tarot. And we see this figure standing before a stone, and all the 4 suits are available to him: sword, cup, wand, and pentacle. This shows that as typically that magician has the power to create from all the elements, and he's channeling the power from the above. And this can, of course, be a very positive manipulation of the energy, or a very negative manipulation. It can literally mean manipulating the other, or trying to control the other, or even creating a kind of illusion with the other, trying to dominate through persuading the other, and insisting on their own reality. And this has to be balanced with honesty and transparency. So this is the main challenge of the relationship. Don't create realities, but face realities. And yes, then we have the owl card from the fortune-telling deck, and we see this owl surrounded by stars, showing messages and also wisdom to be found. So this reinforces the idea that don't manipulate, don't create illusions, don't be a charmer or magician, but see clearly in the dark. So this owl is like flying into the magician, and she is a night creature, while the magician here is represented in daylight. And so this shows that some things may not be obvious in this relationship, because there are some hidden truths, and there may be a lot of misunderstandings and lack of clarity, and so this can cloud your bond. So pay attention to what each of you is saying. Don't try to create a reality and then force it upon the other. Listen to the messages, night or day messages. The owl may also show, literally for some people, that you are talking a lot in the evenings, or maybe even in the night. Perhaps it may be valid for some people. And whatever the case, stay open to clarity, and do not pay attention to what you're saying, and whether you are truly seeing the reality of the other person, and that the other person is respecting your reality. And then we have the mermaid from the Jungian oracle, which is in fact the archetype of a mirror. And we see this mermaid gazing from this frame in the water, and the reflection is doubled below her. So this again shows a distorted image and a projections that may be happening in this relationship. So the biggest challenge is that you may project your own issues on the partner, and vice versa. And also you may see things in your partner that are indeed yours, and vice versa. So there is maybe a lot of talk happening, or a lot of persuasion happening. Maybe you discuss a lot. Maybe you're trying to talk yourself into things. So you need to see beyond these illusions. So what you want to see and what the other wants to see may not be the same thing, and you may not be really seeing the relationship for what it is. So watch for the mirrors. Be very careful of what the reality of the situation is. Because the greatest challenges are clarity and honesty, and to be aware of projections. And so don't mask the truth. Don't try to control through words, whether you or your partner, whatever the case. There is wisdom present, as the owl shows, but there are hidden truths that need to be brought into the light. And you need to see the other as they truly are, and not as a projection of your hopes or illusions. So go beyond masks, go beyond illusions, and really seek authenticity. See transparency, and see the other, the partner, for who they really are, and not for what you want them to be. And then we have the sixth position, which is about hidden lesson, what you are truly learning through this relationship. And for the tarot card, we have Four of Wands, and this is the card of celebration and stability and building something together. It's a card of home and a card of union. So this connection is meant to teach you the value of creating a space and a joyful place together, enjoying the commitment that you have, so that the relationship is not all about struggle and convincing each other into your own truth, or allowing yourself to be convinced, but it's about enjoying your life and your home together. And then we have the plane. That's a very interesting symbol, and we see this plane taking off into a starry night. So this is a card of journey. So it may literally mean that you live apart. Maybe you need literally a plane to take you to each other. Maybe the lesson is to allow and enjoy this distance, not let it destroy the relationship. Because whenever we choose a partner who lives far away, which is not so unusual in this world that we live in, which is becoming more and more a big globe that we share together. So it's not unusual to have long distance connections. But when we are living apart or choosing a partner who lives in another city, another town, or maybe in different circumstances, it shows our own desire to expand, to cross boundaries. So this is asking you to step beyond comfort zone, to broaden your perspective, and also to see this bond as a part of a bigger journey, even though sometimes our journey begins with literally traveling. Why people enjoy traveling? Because they see other places, and this brings a certain expansion in their own mind. It broadens the mind. So maybe this connection is here to teach you about broadening your mind, maybe truly via traveling, or maybe it shows that one of the partners has to travel a lot and you need to wait for them, which again brings space for you and brings opportunity for you to open your mind. And then we have this hooded, shadowed figure from the Jungian oracle. So this is like the seducer or the shadow energy, and it deals with temptation and secrecy, and also the power that is hidden in darkness. It is a kind of seductive, deceptive energy, maybe manipulative. And this shadow aspect is telling you that in this relationship you are learning about hidden drives, hidden desires, hidden illusions. Don't be tricked. Don't be pulled by appearances or charm. Maybe the other person can be extremely charming or extremely seductive. So you have to be very clear. This goes again back to this illusion momentum, and be very, very careful to confront the truth of this person. Well, especially if this relationship is long distance or you are not physically connected, it may be sometimes difficult to discern the real truth or reality of the other, or reality of the situation and your relationship. You are learning to confront the shadow and temptation in this relationship, so that you are not allowing yourself be seduced or manipulated by words. What you're learning, the lesson is choosing authenticity and build something real together, despite the circumstances. So who is this person looking from below the hood? What are they really saying? Who they really are? Can you build something strong with them? And in fact you can, but only with authentic, truthful behavior. So maybe you need to call them out, maybe you need to discuss something fully, or just avoid discussions if there have been plenty of them already, and just face the reality. Are you building something stable? Are you building a home together or not? And then we have the 7th position, which is about the future flow of the relationship, how things will develop. And for the tarot card, we have the 7 of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is many times showing that we need to choose a certain path, that we are on a crossroads. We need to go this way or other way. We have planted some seeds, we are waiting for results, we are not sure whether they're coming. It's a Saturn card, it's a card of great learning, of learning about tangible results, because this is a card of Saturn in Taurus. So is this relationship bringing new developments? Is something growing from my work? Will there be any progress? So, and yes, this card is saying there will be progress, but not immediate. It may be a very slow and gradual progress. And then we have the luck card from the fortune telling, and we see this 4-leaf clover against the starry sky, and this is showing that there are opportunities coming. This relationship, this bond, has blessings ahead and opportunities. Things are developing in your favor, but you need to be open and persistent. And then we have, from the Jungian oracle, this golden mask representing the archetype of persona. And this speaks to the roles we play in relationships. And the persona is a lot about social expectations. And they can be very different from what we are inside as an authentic person and what our authentic self-expression is. So this relationship carries a certain test. Are you going to continue to hide behind masks, or will you reveal your authentic selves? And this moment, or this idea of a mask of illusions, is being present throughout all this spread for this group. This relationship really needs to drop the masks if it wants to grow. And for you, the guidance is to see what is present and not be seduced or charmed or persuaded by words. Otherwise, you can be caught up in illusions, and this will cloud your progress. So don't allow your judgment to be clouded and to be seduced. And there is a slow and steady growth in this relationship, and there are also positive opportunities and blessings coming, but you need to show your true selves. Don't build the relationship on illusions and on what you want to see. And you will have the chances and unexpected blessings to push through, and you will also have chances to really reveal yourself, to show yourselves who you are. So take these opportunities and drop the masks. Don't pretend, and don't control each other with words, and don't try to persuade anyone. The relationship has to be something organic, something that grows, not something that needs to be persuaded to grow and talked into. So perhaps for some of you, it may mean less talk, less discussion, and more action and more stability, especially when the other person goes through this destructive phase or issues that they have confronted. Then you can build something from scratch from the start. And I pulled one card as an oracle message for the higher purpose of this relationship from the Rose Oracle, and we see this figure. This is the codes of the seeds, and we see this figure in a fetal position resting inside a seed. So this shows that there is a lot of growth and a lot of potential in this relationship, but it is all about becoming. So it's still in the seed phase, even though that you perhaps have been together for a while, or perhaps you have tried to be together for a while. So this relationship has not been yet awakened to the true reality of both of you. It's still in the potential phase, maybe because you live apart, maybe because you're new together, or perhaps you are just not willing, or you are maybe afraid to tackle some issues, or maybe you are persuaded or charmed by the other person and not really going deeper. So the message is to allow more of the soul energy, of the authentic energy, to come into this relationship and not keep it on the, in a way, a surface level. Don't depend only on opportunities and luck and blessings that come and may not come, but really test the foundation of the relationship with authentic behavior. And then you can really grow and develop, and this seed can truly blossom. So I hope this resonated. I wish you good luck and see you in some next reading. Bye bye.